Can't believe it's week 9 already of Dana White Contender Series. That flew by so quickly. Only 4 fights on this card. Lucas Rocha missed weight by 4 pounds. I was looking forward to his fight. The guy he was fighting, uh, Davy Bittencourt, literally looks like the fucking protagonist. Like that guy looks like a badass. His nickname's the Black. Uh, he is a black Brazilian man with an afro. So I uh, I don't know if that's related to his nickname or not, but that was his nickname. Still is his nickname. Hopefully he gets another opportunity or something. Like hopefully they tell him if you go get another win on the regional scene, you can get in the UFC or something. Because it is very unfortunate for Bittencourt here. You know, he did nothing wrong himself. He made weight like a professional. So I don't think he should be screwed over just because his opponent didn't make weight. I think that's a little unfair, but the UFC are going to UFC. But yeah, hopefully he gets like another opportunity in the future because I think he deserves it. You know, like I said, not his fault. But anyway, going on to the fights we can break down on this 4 fight card. We got Mauricio Ruffy from the Fighting Nerds. You know, the Fighting Nerds is the gym that Kaya Borello fights out of. A very good gym, rising gym. I think one of the guys on this Dana White Contender Series, I think a few of them fought on here actually. I know Gene Silver, he fought from the Fighting Nerds. If I remember correctly, he was the guy coming out barking. And I think there was someone else, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But you know, they're a rising gym. You know, they've got 2 fighters, another one on Dana White Contender Series. You know, that's pretty good for a little gym out of Brazil. Obviously, Kaya Borello also trains out of Extreme Couture, but still Fighting Nerds, rising gym. Ruffy seems very aggressive. His fight style is very aggressive. Hasn't beat the greatest level of competition. His best win is probably against Torres, his last fight. 41-8, that's not bad, but you got to factor in he's a veteran. He's fought quite a lot. It's crazy how much he's fought actually since 2006. You know, this guy was losing. This guy was a lightweight back in the day as well, against fighting Melvin Gillard, Adriano Martins. But still, good win to have. But I think I'm going to be going, and oh well, I also got to mention he's fighting Raymond Magadaliev. I never thought I'd ever see a Dagestani named Raymond, but I have seen this guy fight before. I'm actually going to be going with Raymond here. I watched his fight against Imber Kasangane. This guy's got a really entertaining style. He's a striking Dagestani. He's not a wrestling Dagestani. He can wrestle though. His fight against Impa Kasangane wasn't the most entertaining fight. It could have gone either way. It wasn't like a robbery. I think most people felt that Impa should have won, but it wasn't like a crazy robbery. It was a very close fight. It wasn't very action-packed from memory. It was on Eagle FC 48, 46, sorry. I think that was the same card that Kevin Lee fought on. Yeah, it was. It was the Kevin Lee, Diego Sanchez card. It was actually a really good card though. I wish Eagle FC would still do some US cards, but still anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Raymond Magomedaliev. I think he should beat the better level of competition. And I really like his style. I think he can get this one done. And I think he can get it done by finish. I think he can get a TKO in the first round. His gas tank's a bit wary. He's not like a soup. He doesn't gas fully out, but he is. It's not like, let me word that again. He's not round one or bust. Like he can win decisions, but it is a bit worrying how much he gasses at times. But he's a good fighter. I think he'll get this one done. And then we got a fight in the light heavyweight division between Magomed Gadziulev versus Jose Daniel Medina. So Medina is a very interesting Dana White Contender Series fighter to have, in my opinion. Not really setting the world on fire with his victories or anything. Went to a split decision with a 4-2 guy's last fight. But I think he is the best fighter out of Bolivia. At least he's the only fighter from Bolivia I've ever heard of. And it would be cool to have a Bolivian fighter. I think he would be the first fighter out of Bolivia, and maybe that's a new market that will come out. Like maybe he's going to be the Conor McGregor for Bolivia, but I don't think this is going to be that time. Generally, I think this guy could make middleweight, seeing how he looks. Like maybe middleweight's probably best for him, but from what I've seen, he isn't some like destroyer of worlds. He hasn't really beat the best guys. Lost to a 9-8 guy as well, which isn't a good look. While on the other hand, sorry, not Magomedov. Magomed, crazy amateur career. He was 10-2 as an amateur coming out of that KHK gym. A lot of good prospects coming out of that gym lately. We've seen Shamil Gaziev, and we have another fighter fighting on this card, who I'll talk about soon. So, they're a really good up-and-coming, well, not really up-and-coming gym. I guess more up-and-coming fighters coming out of the gym. Mikhaev does some of his camps there. Ikram Aleskarov, I think, fights out of there now. It's a really good gym, really good for wrestling. And they have a really good coach there. Elder is a really good coach. He's a good fighter as well. Only lost to Habib Nurmagomedov. Elderov, that's what I'm thinking of. But yeah, I'm going to go with Magomed. I like his style. His kicks are really fun. He threw a Showtime kick on his Eagle FC fight, which was really cool to see. He didn't finish his opponent or anything, but it was cool to see that from a big light heavyweight. And yeah, I think he's going to get this one done. He's got good grappling too. So yeah, I think I think Magomed wins with his striking, but I think he could also mix in his grappling for a victory here. He has good wrestling. And I just like that KHK team as well. I think just there's such a good amount of fighters coming from there. I think this is not even close to the final product. I think we're going to see a lot more fighters coming out of that gym. So yeah, I got Magomed winning this fight, and I think he's going to get it done by TKO due to ground and pound. That'll be interesting. Maybe we'll get the first Bolivian fighter. That would be cool either way. So it's a win-win here. But I think Bahrain is going to get some more fighters, even though they're all Dagestani guys. But still, they're getting the Bahrain representation. Will probably motivate more Bahrainians, people to train and get into MMA. And that gym has all the funding in the world they need to just have the best facilities and everything. So yeah, I like all the fighters coming out of that gym. And then moving on, we got a fight in the bantamweight division. We have Eduardo Matias Torres versus Victor Hugo Silva. I'm going to be taking the Chilean fighter here. I like the highlights I've seen. He seems to have a really good Muay Thai style. Believe he is the best fighter coming out of Chile at the moment. He just is, all of the guys he's beating all seem to be in Chilean promotions. So it doesn't look like he's ever gone proper international, except for when he fought Hernandez, an American fighter. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, he seems to just beating everybody in Chile, but he's fucking doing it pretty well. I just like what I see from him, and his opponent, Victor Hugo, is very interesting. He did weigh in 135, but I'm pretty sure this is might be his first fight at bantamweight, and he's got fights from like welterweight, featherweight, lightweight. Now he's fighting at bantamweight. Like, this guy's going all over the place. I don't think his chin's going to hold up after cutting to bantamweight. If the guy's fighting at those heavier weight classes, I think the weight cut might just be a bit much, but who knows. But yeah, I like the Chilean fighter to get this done, and I think Torres is going to win this by TKO. And then we got a fight I'm very excited for. We got Rodolfo Bellato. He fought Victor Petranio, got knocked out brutally on Dana White Contender Series, and then his other loss before that was to a man you might not have heard of, Victor Petrino. Yes, Victor Petrino owns Bellato really badly. Like, that is his fucking Alex Pereira. Like, maybe one day Bellato will get his revenge, but Petrino literally got him on his MMA debut when he was 5-0, and then fucking Petrino gets him 3 years later, just like, this man's just hunting him down. But yeah, I like Bellato's, grappling. I think he's got good wrestling. We've seen that. But I think I'm going to be going with Matasa Talha. I just like everything I've seen from this guy. He seems to be very powerful. The commentators talk about his crazy power, and if you do watch his fights, his ground and pound is very heavy. Like he throws heavy punches into his ground and pound. Like it's like Hamzat Chimaev fucking beating on John Phillips esque. Like he's really like fucking landing them hammers. Haven't His striking's not bad at all. He seems to have a good understanding of boxing. The way he stands up, his stance is very similar to like a Gregory Rodriguez, but he's not throwing bombs like Gregory Rodriguez, unfortunately. But he does seem to have power. He seems to have a good jab. Seems to be a work in progress, his striking, but is coming along well. And I think he's about 27 years old, which is good for a light heavyweight. I don't think he'll be contesting in the light heavyweight division, though, if he does get signed. He had a bunch of brave fights at like an 87 kilo, 88 kilo catchweight fights and all this stuff. So I think, let me just double check. Yeah, so he had 88 kilo fights. Yeah. His last fight before this was 88 kilos, so 195 pounds. So I think we will be seeing him make the move down to middleweight. I think we will see him at 185 pounds. I think that will happen. And if he can make middleweight, which I think he will, he doesn't look like a massive light heavyweight like Bellato, who seems to be a bit bigger than him. But I think he'll be a killer at that middleweight division. I think he could still have success at light heavyweight, but like at middleweight, I think he could be a fucking problem. This guy's good. He's on an 18-fight winning streak because he went 12-0 as an amateur. Has a win over Anton Takash. Obviously, Takash didn't go on to have the most success in the UFC, but he's still a good fighter. He beat that Turkish guy whose name Elbow was it Ablo? Oh fuck, this is embarrassing. What was his name? Was it Ebo? I think it was Ebo, wasn't it? Aslan. Ibo Aslan, that's what I'm thinking of. So yeah, he beat, Turkaj beat that guy. So that's a good win. And even then, Anton Takash, I forget which one it is, he had a pretty competitive fight with Victor Petrino, who smoked Bellato. Obviously, I'm not using MMA math, I'm just saying to like the level of what Anton is. Like he's got really good wins. Like he's beat some super, super legit guys, especially as an amateur. He even beat a guy whose last name's Best. So, he's beaten the best. But he beat a 4-1 opponent in his debut. 4-1, then 6-1. Beat a debutant, 7-1, 8-2. Like these are all solid opponents. Bellato, like I said, he's lost to Petrino, but he beat a 15-5 opponent in his last fight. From what I've heard, I didn't go back and watch it, but I heard that was a massive bore fest. But he went out there and he just wrestled him for fucking three rounds. So that's impressive, but not the most entertaining. Then he beat a 12-11 opponent to rebound from his Petrino loss. But I'm just very confident in Murtaza Talha. Seems like an angry guy as well. I watched one of his fights where he got a submission on his opponent and then like fucking kicked him afterwards. He seemed very pissed off. Reminds me of like a ginger Magomed Ankalaev with his personality. Not so much his fight style, just his personality. But like I said, he seems to have heavy hands, and I think he might get this one done with the hands. I know that's a hot take, but Bellato's been chinned twice by Petrino, who's obviously a athletic, powerful guy. But I think Talha can crack that chin. We've seen it cracked before, and I think with the takedown threat, and this guy's also got good takedown defense, Talha. For some reason, all his opponents seem to shoot on him from all the tape I watched. Like every single one, they all just shoot on him for some reason. Like they must really give into the whole like this guy's got crazy power that the commentators keep talking about, because every single guy shoots on him. But he's shown really good takedown defense. I think he got taken down in one of the fights, but he bounced right back up. So he's got good get-ups as well as takedown defense. Bellato is a big, strong, powerful guy though, so maybe he can get him down. But like I said, this guy's got decent striking. I'd say he's probably a better striker than Bellato. Like he's got good boxing fundamentals so far. Like obviously, I'm not going out there and saying he's Jack Della Maddalena on the feet or anything, or like a Kelvin Cater or anyone like that, or a Dustin Poirier with his boxing. But he is he's looking pretty sharp on the boxing, which is good to see at this point in his career. If he can like fully improve that, like, this guy is going to be a problem. Like I already think he is a problem. And like I said, He's also got good positional control when he gets people down. Like he gets into good positions. He's got good submission game. He's very diverse. His ground and pound's very heavy. Like I said, this guy's got some heavy ground and pound. I think he could get a TKO or a KO on with ground and pound as well. And I really hope this guy can make middleweight because I think he would be a formidable guy in that middleweight division. Like imagine Talha versus Hamza Chimaev. Like there are some cool fights that we could see Talha fight in that middleweight division because the guy seems really good. Like I'm not even exaggerating. He seems like a really good prospect, and he's also from that KHK gym, which, like I said, they've got all the funding in the world. They've got the best facilities. They got all the best training partners you could ask for if you're fighting a wrestler or a heavy, strong guy. So I think he's just got all the advantages. That gym has so much funding. The royal family of Bahrain fund them. So yeah, I really do like this fight. Jesus Christ. My voice, like, that wasn't even a voice crack. That was literally like just a voice box, like, disappearance. My voice literally disappeared just then. But anyway, yeah, going back onto what I was saying, yeah, this Talha guy, though, I think he's legit. I hope he succeeds here. I hope I haven't just jinxed him, but I do think he's going to get this one done. And I think he might show some improvements with the hands here. I think he might get a KO on the feet. Like I said, this guy is someone to really watch out for. I think he might be one of the best prospects from this card, from this Dana White Contender Series season. Like I think he could actually go really far. I've seen him before. I've seen a lot of him as he was coming up. And I kept my eye on him. I've got my eye on a bunch of the KHK guys. I had my eyes on Ramazan Kitinov. He's like, I can't even remember, but I think it was like 27-2 as like an amateur, like some crazy record like that. Now he's 2-0 as a pro. Like I've got my eyes on a bunch of them Bahrainian guys. I think we're going to see a lot of them in the UFC soon. I'll probably make a video separately about that whole KHK Bahrain gym and all the Bahrainian fighters coming up. But yeah, I've rambled on long enough, but I'm going with Talha. I think he's going to get a TKO here. And I'm very confident, maybe even just a flush KO on the feet. Like this guy's got good power. His striking's coming together quite well, and I think he can actually get a knockout here. I think he's going to come out with something to prove. And I think Bellato might be a bit jittery. He's got returning to the place where he got KO'd last, so yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm going with Talha here. And yeah, I think Talha will get a contract. I think we're going to get a clean sweep here. I think everyone's going to get a contract on this card. And I think this is going to be real big for the Bahrainian guys, like I say. This season we'll have got 3 fighters from Bahrain. The first 3 fighters to represent Bahrain. All of them, though, I believe, are Dagestani. I thought Talha was Bahraini, like I thought he was actually born and raised there, but I've seen some site, some Instagram page that represents one of the Dagestani tribes. I can't remember. I think it was Avars or something like that, like some certain tribe from Dagestan, and they were saying that Talha's one of theirs. So I guess he's not Arab. I thought he was because Talha sounds like a very Arab name, but I guess I was wrong there. But yeah, regardless, this would be cool to see all these Bahrainian fighters come up. I always love to see international talents and new markets get into the UFC because it's always good because it will build more fighters from that part of the world, and there is plenty coming from that part of the world. I'll tell you that much. UAE Warriors, Brave, keep your eye out for the promotions because we're going to see a lot of fighters coming out of there. But yeah, I think this might be the longest I've talked about a Dana White Contender Series card because I'm super high on this guy. Like I'm fucking fanboying out for this guy. I'm like fucking Laura Sanko simping over Shavkat Rakhmonov. So hopefully he doesn't disappoint me here. But yeah, still, this could be a good card. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of entertaining fights, or at least dominant performances here. I think Talha's going to get a pretty dominant performance. And yeah, should be a good card. So yeah, if you made it this far, make sure you give this video a like. Let me know if you agree with my picks in the comments below, if you disagree, and just let me know your overall thoughts on the fights. And if you're not already, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.